Imagine reading a story so emotional that it sticks with you for days. A scene that makes you feel like you're right there, experiencing everything with the character. This kind of emotional storytelling doesn't happen by accident. It's the result of careful planning, deep understanding of human emotion, and an ability to connect with your readers on a personal level. Here's a shocking fact. Research shows that 65% of readers say they remember a book because of an emotional scene. Not the plot, not the characters, but the feelings the story gave them. And here's another surprise. Emotional scenes don't just pull at your heartstrings, they actually affect your brain. When you feel emotionally connected to a story, your brain releases oxytocin, the feel-good hormone, which deepens your connection to the narrative. But how do you write these kinds of scenes? How can you move your readers so deeply that they can't forget your work? In this video, we'll dive into techniques and strategies that most writers overlook. From subtle emotions in body language to building tension that keeps readers on the edge of their seats, I'll show you how to write scenes that leave a lasting impact. By the end, you'll have the tools to turn any scene into a deeply emotional moment your readers won't be able to put down. Let's unlock the secret to unforgettable emotional storytelling. Chapter 1: The Heartbeat of Emotion. Creating unforgettable moments. Great emotional scenes start with tapping into universal human experiences. Whether it's love, loss, or hope, readers connect with emotions they've felt themselves. One strategy to create unforgettable moments is to make your reader feel like they're living the scene. Emotions are the language of the heart, writes author John Green. He's right, emotions can be a powerful connector. So, make sure your character's emotions align with something universally understood. The setting plays a big role too. Take a simple place, like an empty room, and transform it into a space charged with emotion through how you describe it. You can heighten the emotional impact by tying the scene to a sensory detail, like the scent of a familiar place or the warmth of someone's touch. When readers experience these small details, they can more easily step into the character's shoes. Another strategy is conflict. Emotional scenes need tension, and conflict is the best way to build it. Imagine a character standing on the edge of a decision. Do they forgive, or do they walk away? The key is not rushing through this moment. Let it linger, like a beating heart before it slows down. Keep in mind that every emotional moment must feel earned. If a character has not gone through struggle or change, an emotional moment will fall flat. Your readers need to see that this emotional scene matters, not only to the character but also to the story's core. Chapter 2: Show, Don't Tell. The art of subtle emotion. One of the most common mistakes writers make is telling emotions rather than showing them. For example, instead of writing, "She was sad," describe her slumped shoulders, the slow way she walks, or the distant look in her eyes. These are subtle clues that speak volumes. Research from the University of Toronto shows that humans can pick up on these small cues and automatically assign emotional meaning. The body reveals emotions long before the character or the author says anything. Think about the powerful emotional scenes in films. You rarely hear the characters outright say, "I'm sad," or "I'm angry." Instead, the camera lingers on a tear falling, or the character's hands trembling. Writers can replicate this effect by focusing on small actions, how a character touches an old photograph or looks at an empty chair. These details speak louder than words and create an emotional bond between the reader and the character. One secret of subtle emotion is in the dialogue. Sometimes what isn't said is more impactful than what is. Take a look at the great storytellers. In J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series, some of the most emotional moments are driven by characters saying nothing at all. The pause before a character speaks can communicate just as much as their words. Chapter 3: Building Emotional Tension. The calm before the storm. Building tension in emotional scenes is an art form. If the scene is too fast, the emotions can feel shallow. If it's too slow, the reader loses interest. Think of a roller coaster ride. Before the descent, there's a long, slow climb. This is the emotional tension you want to build in your scene. One way to do this is by introducing a situation that threatens what the character cares about most. Maybe it's a broken relationship, a lost dream, or a personal betrayal. This creates stakes, and without stakes, emotions feel hollow. In his book The Emotional Craft of Fiction, author Donald Mars discusses how the buildup of tension creates an emotional charge that's irresistible. Use pacing to your advantage. When things feel like they're about to unravel, don't jump straight into the emotional resolution. Hold off for a bit. Let the tension simmer. The reader will feel like they're holding their breath right alongside the character. This builds emotional weight in the scene. Another great technique is contrast. Think of the quiet before a storm. If you've had a peaceful, calm build-up, the emotional release will feel more intense. If you've had a string of small emotional conflicts leading up to the big moment, the payoff will feel that much stronger. Don't forget to subscribe for more tips on writing emotional scenes and becoming a master storyteller. Hit the bell so you won't miss out. Chapter 4, Character Arcs in Motion. How to make your readers feel a powerful emotional scene depends on a well-developed character arc. Emotions won't hit home if the character hasn't undergone significant change or growth. In other words, emotional scenes should never feel like they come from out of nowhere. The best emotional moments are tied directly to the character's journey. In The Hero's Journey, Joseph Campbell argues that the character's internal transformation mirrors their external world. As they grow, so does the emotional impact of their decisions. For example, in The Fault in Our Stars, Hazel's emotional journey through grief and love is tied to her understanding of life and death. Her internal transformation makes the emotional scenes feel deeply personal and heart-wrenching. It's also crucial to make your readers care about the character's journey. According to a study published by the Reading Agency, people are far more likely to feel emotionally connected to characters with whom they identify or empathize. This means giving your characters flaws and vulnerabilities that readers can relate to, even if they've never been in the exact same situation. Chapter 5, The Power of Silence. Letting the scene breathe. Sometimes, silence can be louder than words. In an emotional scene, consider leaving room for the emotions to be felt without over-explaining them. A moment of silence can be a powerful emotional tool. It's in the pause, the space between dialogue, that emotions can truly sink in. Think about moments in movies where no one says anything, yet the silence speaks volumes. One memorable example is in The Great Gatsby, when Gatsby and Daisy finally meet again after years apart. Fitzgerald uses the silence to heighten the emotional tension between them, building up the anticipation until it finally bursts into action. This is the perfect way to allow the emotion to breathe, without feeling the need to explain it. In fact, research in psychology shows that silence can often convey more emotional depth than words. In a study from the University of California, researchers found that people tend to focus more on the emotional implications of silence in conversation, rather than the words spoken. By using silence strategically, you allow the reader to process and feel the emotions in the scene, making them more impactful. Chapter 6, Writing for the Soul. Harnessing the reader's empathy. To move your readers emotionally, you must first connect with them on a deep level. Emotional scenes are most effective when the reader can empathize with the character's situation. In his book The Empathy Effect, Dr. Jamil Zaki explains that empathy is a shared experience. When readers can see themselves in your characters, the emotional scene will resonate more deeply. One way to enhance empathy is through vulnerability. Characters who are open, raw, and imperfect create a connection with readers. People don't just empathize with the character's strength, they empathize with their pain, their flaws, and their moments of weakness. Remember that a well-rounded, emotionally complex character allows the reader to experience the highs and lows of the scene more intensely. Another key strategy is to make the reader part of the scene. Engage their senses, ask them to imagine themselves in the character's shoes. In emotional writing, it's important to make readers feel like they're living the moment, not just reading about it. The more immersed they are in the scene, the more likely they are to be emotionally moved. Before we wrap up, don't forget to subscribe for more expert tips on writing unforgettable emotional scenes. Hit the bell to be notified when we release new content. By focusing on these strategies, building emotional moments with universal experiences, showing emotion through action, creating tension, developing deep character arcs, using silence, and connecting through empathy, you'll be able to craft emotional scenes that leave a lasting impact on your readers. Write with intention, and let every scene resonate in a way that pulls your reader into the heart of your story.